a sinner, left my lover crying on the dance floor. I'm a sinner, I'm a sinner.
So hello and welcome to Do Not Take This Cat Home. I'm looking at horror games from Itch.io. If this looks familiar, then you've been on my other channel, Sinfully Pure. And I can't delete my save. I've been trying. So I've actually looked everywhere, so what I might do is put the first episode up here on the... You know what? I'll put a link at the end of this video to the original video so you guys can see it. You're walking. Right, of course. It's the first time in a while that you felt like going out. And you're actually glad that you did. The weather is absolutely perfect today. That's a good sign, right? Maybe your luck is finally starting to turn around. You tentatively allow yourself to feel excited for the possibility of where you could go or what you could do. Maybe even who you could meet. You're so deep in thought that you almost miss it. Huh? What was that? Curiosity guides your steps. You follow the sound to the entrance of a lonely alleyway. The sunlight only just manages to reach down in between the tall buildings on either side. You timidly enter the alley and walk forward, the loose gravel and scattered debris of the ground softening your step. Finally, the sound source comes into view in the warm, almost ethereal light of the alley. At the end of the alley, in a big cardboard box, is a cat. Huh? Guess that should have been obvious. It's an interesting looking cat. Its pretty yellow eyes shine like gold among the dark sea of its black fur. It puts its paws up on the edge of the box and looks up at you. Huh? So, you look so familiar, right? Then again, it is a black cat. Not many different ways to standard black cats look after all. This one sure is cute though. Just look. It's not glaring at you or hissing at you or getting this close like other stray cats have in the past. It's just sitting there patiently, waiting for you to do something. Sadly, as cute as that cat is, you never take this thing home with you. You just can't take it home with you. You're a responsible adult. You are. With the rent and bills to pay for, not to mention you need to buy food to survive too. There's no way you could care for a cat long term, right? You can barely afford this little outing on your day off. What to do? You're not ready. You don't think it's a good idea to get the cat's hopes up for having someone to look after it you're not willing to commit. What if it gets attached and somehow tracks you down back to your home? You never... Sorry, see you around, I guess. You stand up, the cat watches your every move. You make it halfway out the alley when the cat meows almost pitifully at you. Ignore. Nope. You need to nip this in the bud and get on with your day. It's what's best for you. You leave the alley and continue on your way. Wait, what was I doing? In all the excitement of dealing with your furry dilemma, you'd forgotten you still hadn't decided on what you were going to do with your day off. Okay, let's go to a carnival. Or let's go to the movie. Let's go in order. It's been a while since a film came out that looked interesting enough for you to drag yourself to a movie theater. But there's a showing of one such film at the old theater. The movie's a little too niche to be picked up by the new cinemas that opened right across the street. That's okay though, you're not exactly a fan of the crowds. And nothing ruins the experience of watching a new movie for you more than a noisy audience. By the way, we do stream every Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday over on Kick. Links in the description. You eagerly buy your ticket from the kind old man in the booth and head inside. It's barren of any trace of other people, and the decor looks like it hasn't changed since the 80s, maybe even the 70s. But it's what you were counting on. You consider buying some popcorn, but can't help but be concerned about everything at the concession stand might be expired. You move on and walk through the halls, finally locating the theater designated on your ticket stub. As expected, the theater your movie will be playing in is completely empty. Perfect! You pick a spot right in the middle, even counting the seats and taking into consideration the gap of the staircase. As you settle in, the dim lights fade away, leaving the room pitch black for a few seconds. Before the screen flickers on, no commercials or trailers pop up, the movie just begins. Pleased, you shrug and let yourself get immersed in the opening scene. Just as you're getting into the premise, the doors open behind you, momentarily casting light into the room and ruining the atmosphere. You hold in frustrated sighs. It's a public establishment after all. The place can't exactly afford to stay open if you're the only customer. You try to refocus on the movie, but you sense the new presence slowly shifting around the theater before heading in your general direction. What? You gape in utter disbelief as the stranger shuffles down the aisles, only to sit right in front of you. There's no one else here and plenty of places to sit. The stranger is also unusually tall. Even with the stadium-like arrangement of the seats being on a somewhat steep decline, they're completely blocking your view. Oh, fuck you. I'm just going to move to another spot. You don't want to risk escalating the situation further. This whole thing is already making you uneasy. Why would they choose to sit right in front of you? Surely they know you wouldn't be able to see past them. Shaking your head with a passive-aggressive scoff in the stranger's direction, you reluctantly pick another less perfect seat in the theater. But, as you settle down, you see the strange person also get up. You're gonna be a dick, only once again to sit down directly in front of you. You look around somewhat helplessly, as if waiting for someone to silently agree with you about how odd all of this is. Or to at least inform you that it's all an elaborate prank. But there's no one else here with you. That's how you've always liked it, but you can't help but think that maybe it would be nice to have someone else here if it meant not being alone with this weird jerk. He's gonna keep doing this. You hate confrontation, but you can already feel your palms starting to sweat at the idea of it. Your throat closes up and your body starts shaking. You've always been more of a flighter than a fighter. But you paid for this ticket. You've wanted to watch this movie for ages. And now this total stranger has ruined the entire experience for you. You're all alone in this theater. There's no one else who will help you if something goes wrong. But you're angry enough that you ignore the signs of your body begging you to put as much distance as you can between yourself and the stranger. You stand up, even standing and higher up on the incline. The stranger is still at least a head taller than you. The movie continues to play in the background, but you feel as if a hush immediately falls heavily over the theater at your movement. As if you can sense the stranger anticipating what you plan to do next. You square your shoulders and force a little bass into your voice. Hey! The effort makes the words come out more harshly than you intended, like a sudden and vicious bark. But you figure they deserve it anyway. You're being a real jerk, you know that? Just what are you playing at, huh? Are you trying to piss me off? The silence that follows your words are deafening. So much so that you glance at the screen only to find that the movie has paused? Huh? Huh? Your attention is ripped back to the stranger in front of you as they shift slightly. Like a small animal trying to desperately to anticipate the moves of a predator, you don't move an inch. You don't look away. You don't dare blink. Instead, your eyes widen as the person's head turns. Then turns some more. Then turns more beyond what should be possible, neck bones cracking, to face you directly. You can't move. Wide glowing eyes resting above a weirder grinning mouth gaze down at you. The stranger opens their mouth and what comes out is nothing impossible to comprehend.
I
go get the Eldritch Abomination. She speaks your language. The voice is endlessly deep and creaks like a weighty door, foreboding and oddly melodic. Look, buddy, you're still sitting in front of me. Stop being an asshole. Alluring. But it also snaps you out of your terrified trance, and before you know it, you're already out the door. You run through the halls of the empty theater, heading for the exit. You feel something watching you from behind, but you're too afraid to look. The exit now in sight, you sprint forward and burst through the doors. You look around frantically and spot the crowded cinema across the street. People, that's what you need. Safety in numbers and all that. Without thinking, you rush into the street when a sinking sensation crawls down your spine, compelling you to look behind you. Refusing to even risk a peek over your shoulder, you rush across the street to the new cinema theater. You didn't realize that it felt like you've been surrounded by some kind of dreadful pressure. Until it very suddenly vanishes, leaving you feeling more than a little shaken. But at least breathing comes easier. You think it's within your best interest to repress everything that just happened. Yeah. Deciding to wait for the movie you've been anticipating to be available on DVD or streaming, you join the long line outside the new cinema. By the time you've reached the ticket booth, you just want to get inside. So you pick a movie at random, take your ticket from the tired-looking teenager manning the booth. The decor is chic and sleek, and the inside is bustling with people. It's not what you're usually into, but it's kind of nice not being alone. Even if you feel a little lonely watching families and groups of friends laughing among themselves. You'd get some popcorn, but the lines at the concession stand are long and the prices are criminal anyway. You go through the halls and follow the sign of the theater designated on your ticket before heading inside. You sigh at the sight of the absolutely crowded theater. You head towards the seat only to be told by the next person that it's being saved for someone. This happens a few more times before you finally manage to get yourself settled into a seat annoyingly off-center of the screen. But the screen is at least visible if it's not a little too close, so you grit your teeth and bear it. The light fades out, but the chatter doesn't. The rest of the audience seems content to talk through the commercials and even through the trailers. You figure the chattering will stop when the movie actually begins. But it doesn't get even the slightest bit quieter as the opening scene starts to play. Yeah, that's bullshit. You sigh out loud, not thinking anyone would hear you anyway. This is why you avoid movie theaters like the plague. That's why I go to the late night movies. Are you fucking joking? Kitty! Suddenly, the screen changes, showing the face of a black cat. A familiar black cat. Confused murmurs fill the room, but then the cat on the screen meows. The sound is strange and not at all like any cat should sound. Haunting, almost melodic, and layered as if made of multiple voices of different creatures. Creatures that would probably never say. Poke your fucking eyes out for just saying nya 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 nya. You sit in confusion, wondering why you haven't already gotten up and left to complain to the cinema staff. But then you hear it. It's scattered, disorientated at first, but among the crowd, people start to chant along with the cat on screen. Soon the entire room is chanting in perfect unison, everyone staring intently at the cat on the screen. You're feeling strangely drawn to the screen yourself, but the compulsion to stare blankly like the others isn't that strong, for now. Also, you start to notice out of the corner of your eye that some of the people in your immediate vicinity are looking at you. No. There's outright staring holes into you, even as they continue chanting. They don't miss a beat as they slowly begin to frown at you in blatant disapproval. Is that a Wojak? Their scowls deepen as time goes on, as if they're getting, I already have anxiety, bitches, I already get this feeling constantly. Impatient. Thinking fast, you look at the screen and begin to chant in tandem with the crowd. Nya, 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 You feel the harshness of their collective gaze start to ebb away. The air in the theater is becoming lighter once again. You release the air shakily just to realize that you've been holding your breath earlier. You feel stuck. Surely you can't just get up and leave now. Not after whatever all that was. The people around you all seem fine now, but there's no telling if they'd get aggressive at you for even moving too much. Never mind outright getting up and leaving. You decide to let this run its course. Hopefully someone will come along, right? Or at least turn off the film. You continue to chant along with everyone else. Nya, 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 You start to feel lightheaded. You feel as if you could fall asleep, but your eyes don't feel heavy in the slightest. You try to look around and gauge the other's emotional state, but you can't seem to look away from the screen. You try again, but you're still locked into eye contact with the cat on screen. Yeah. You attempt to physically force your mind. You feel your nerves ready to throw yourself to the ground if you need to. But your body only gets as far as tensing up for a moment before completely loosening itself again, making you lay back limply into your seat. You think you should panic right about now, but even your brain feels limp. Your thoughts are vaguely muted, pastel pink, very sickening, like cotton candy. You like cotton candy. You think you shouldn't mind your thoughts and body being like cotton candy either. So, why get up and run and ruin it all? It's nice here. You're more at peace than you've ever felt before in such a crowded room. Still chanting, you never felt so obliged, in tune with the other people. Let alone an entire room full of complete strangers. You're not alone. Out of the corner of your eye, the person next to you starts to sink back further into their chair. They sink more. And goddamn, they came. Not like they've slouched or reclining, but more like they're deflating. Their skin bunches up and wrinkles like fabric as if their muscles, their bones have started disintegrating. Their eyes dim before sinking into their sockets. Their mouth, still attempting to chant, falls open over a cut of neon. Gaping as the word ends in an awful hiss, a final weak release of air. You muse thoughtfully about whether or not you should distress at the sight. But then the blanket of peace doesn't leave you. Suddenly, from a pile of skin at the top next to you, you see a lump moving around. You watch a dazed fascination. The lump makes its way to part of the skin where the head used to be. And out from the mouth crawls a tiny black kitten. Nya, nya, nya. You can hear a familiar hiss from all around you now as the unified chants start to fade. Are they all just turning into cats? Only to be replaced with a faint mewling of kittens. Finally, your voice is the only one still chanting, still human, and alone. Again. You don't want that. You can't go back to that. Not again. Not again. Please. Just then, you go completely limp. Your body feels light, but it might as well weigh several tons, because you realize quite suddenly you can't move. Not an inch. You can't shift your eyes to look around. You can't even breathe. But somehow, the chant continues to creak weakly from your mouth. A few kittens come forward and perch themselves in the chairs around you, watching your sinking body. Well, that's fucking terrifying. It's okay, I saw the world's cutest black kitten. Watching your sinking body, mewling as they wait for their youngest sibling to emerge from you. Dozens of glowing eyes peer down at you. And as your eyes start to cave into the sockets of your softening skull, you manage to make out the silhouette of a familiar cat perched on the seat right in front of you. Your vision finally fades, and as the same hiss of air expels itself from your mouth, the last thing you sense is something small and alive shifting eagerly under your skin. Happy birthday. So that was our first official episode of Do Not Take This Kitten Home. I'll either upload the episode from the Eldritch Abomination if she doesn't mind, or I'll link you guys to it at the end of this. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye, guys.